What can you expect? I will explain you why I'm the right person to guide you out of the status you are in at the moment. Because I have been in this situation more than 10 years, I have a lot of experience what to do to come out. I will give you some background information and facts that you can better understand how everything is connected. I will give you my 7 self-care keys to come out of this situation. My name is Sabine Schwind von Egelstein, and even though I'm standing here now and smiling at you, I have to admit that I have exceeded the limit to this total exhaustion twice in my life. Then I slowly fought back out of it, but I got into it because it interested me. How can a thinking person ever get this far? And these results I want to tell you. If you Google the term charisma, you will see bright faces all over, because radiance, a smile, a good eye contact, an upright posture, these are all external characteristics of charisma. And the basics for this great charisma is the inner balance. This radiance we used to have all one day as babies. We had this winning charisma. One smile and everyone smiled back. And over the years, however, this inner radiance was lost by external circumstances. And at these, we want to take a close look. And also what happens in the body and how it can happen that life suddenly feels heavy and tired. As I said, I too have exaggerated twice with the stress in my life and exceeded this limit. I know what it feels like when you are permanently tired and exhausted, when you need a coffee to be able to get up at all, when you are totally drained, although you have not done much at all, if you are completely unpowered, and the simplest things are not getting done. If you have to get yourself into things that you actually enjoy. If you are totally tired but cannot sleep properly. If you are joyless, although you have reasons to be happy. And how it feels when all ease has vanished from life. And life feels heavy and constricted and you cannot help it at all. When I was in this situation, I went to the doctor, of course. I thought something was wrong with me and a doctor will help me. The doctor makes blood tests. A good doctor talks with you a bit. I got the advice not to take everything so serious. I got sleeping pills and sedatives prescribed and the advice to maybe consult a psychologist. I did not want to take any pills. I didn't feel ill, but something was wrong. Today I know that exhaustion is the common and growing stress syndrome of modern life. Many people, especially here in our Western world, want to do it perfectly. They want to be good. They worry about their jobs, need to take care for their families and all that. All that puts us in a permanent stress situation. This tremendous stress situation hurts the body. It gets worse and worse. The natural regulative tires I explain to you later in detail. We can only get upset. We are short-tempered with us, with others. Our limit of what we can endure is simply exceeded. And that causes us to break down completely. That we might not even get out of bed. That we just want to sit on the couch, and if anyone speaks to us, then we could explode. That means people are under pressure and try to deal with it somehow. Many drink this glass of wine, maybe 1, 2, 3 or more, trying to regain some of their strength with pills or stimulants. The result is, in fact, often a dependency of this. Conflicts because we simply are not able anymore to deal with each other calm. Interpersonal conflicts, this burnout feeling, this I cannot anymore. All these are the consequences not to mention chronic diseases that may result from it. And the cause? The cause is our normal Western lifestyle, especially the pace, which has accelerated. I have to be careful myself not to come into this spiral again. Due to the lack of real professionals who can solve this problem in a complex way, I started to study everything about it. I got information from proven experts, medical doctors, physicians, sports scientists, psychologists, mental trainers, and healthy old people. The nicest compliment I received from a scientist was, he's over 60 years old, double doctor in human medicine and chemistry, and he said to me, "Sabine, you ask me questions nobody ever has asked before." Yeah, and in this way I have gathered a lot of information and it has built a clearer picture. And I thought, if I know the cause of the evil, then I can work on the solution. So I've tried a lot to get out of this exhaustion. And since then I hear again and again, "Sabine, you are a phenomenon. The older you get, the more attractive you are." Quite nice to hear. And meanwhile, some of my customers call me Lady Sunshine, and that, believe me, was not always like this. I know what it means to slip into this exhaustion trap, because our bodies all work in a similar way. Yours similar to mine, so we can hardly do anything about it happening. But we can do a lot to recover from it. And to explain to you what exactly happens in your body, let's take a look at some background knowledges and facts. Let's start at the beginning. At some point, we all felt happy and satisfied once, bursting with energy, and we enjoyed our life. If not, then it will be high time for you to change something. With the years, you have to do a little more to maintain your look and stay in shape. For women, it is a bit easier. They could use makeup, dye the hair, and also have a bit more possibilities to play with the colors. My clients, often middle-aged executives, do not have as many options with the outer styling options. Especially then, the charisma has to come from the inner vitality. And if you have lost it, it will be difficult. Very important, with the years, the appearance is kept pretty good, but you have to do a bit more for it. Some customers had the problem, I partially too. Somehow you gain weight with the years. But just because it's the same for many, it does not have to be like this. You have to understand what happens in the body, and then you can do the right things. And one thing I also have to tell you, the genetic disposition, whether you gain weight easy or hard, makes up only about 10%. But that's not really crucial. So this gaining weight when you age does not have to be this way. You can change that. And interestingly enough, weight loss is often a byproduct of this regeneration process. So no excuses. And that you have to do something you already noticed in the body posture. With the years, an upright posture becomes a problem. Therefore, my little first hint to you is keep the shoulders away from the ears. Upright pressed, slightly contract the shoulder blades, and always with the shoulders a bit backward, holding the head upright, and that way the shoulders are away from the ears. At the beginning, this may feel a bit uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more important it is that you do it. Let's look at the aging process and the effects of stress on the body to understand what happened to us. Let's start with the aging process. Our body is a great machine that regenerates itself and keeps itself in good condition. In Germany, we have a medical doctor in the media, Eckhard von Hirschhausen, and he says so clearly, "Make a scratch on the skin. It's gone after a few days. Do that with your car. You can wait for a long time." So our body is a super machine where we really just should not disturb. Then everything works beautifully. It's just that easy until the age of about 30 to 40 years. Because until then, nature, evolution, has an interest in us, being fit and healthy. We should produce children and the species conservation should be assured. From the age of 40, we are no longer biologically so interesting. That means nothing gets better by itself, because either we are already having children or we don't want them. So by itself, not so much is getting better anymore. Then we have to start making it a little easier for our body now to keep him working well. If we do not, then those problems will arise. So that means we are getting older than 40. That's nice. Between 40 and 50 are slowly developing small ailments, small diseases. These diseases are looking for the body's weak point, dock there, and develop. That means there are a few problems between the age of 40 and 50, and if we do not really do something for ourselves and change lifestyle, then it gets worse between 50 and 60. Because between 50 and 60, these diseases have developed so much that even worse can happen. There is a study that says if you look at the causes for death by suicide, accidents, or death by disease, by the age of 50, these statistics are about the same. And between the age of 50 and 60, the cause of death through disease increases dramatically. If you look at this natural aging process, you can say, up to the age of 25, everything is great. We are bursting with strength, should be mega healthy, but then it starts slowly getting worse. The muscle mass reduces slowly, the metabolism goes down gradually, and also the hormone production, which has the control to our body, goes back step by step. This goes on slightly until the age of 40. Between 40 and 50 then, diseases are developing. Between 50 and 60, then often sad results from this process. Genetically, we could be in good health until the age of 120 if we did not torpedo our body so mercilessly. This self-regulating regeneration of the system, think of the scratch in the skin, which is gone on its own after 3 days. With a car, it doesn't not happen. And similar to the car, if you do not care, a chic car turns into an old rusty vehicle. With good care, it gets a wanted old-timer. And you too can become a wanted old-timer or just a rusty vehicle, in a figurative sense. Let's take a closer look at this fantastic metabolism that works totally on its own in our body. It is 250,000 years old. Our modern lifestyle is only 50 to 60 years old. He brings the nutrients to the organs and removes the toxics and keeps the whole system going. It regulates the energy, the efficiency, the well-being, our immune system, musculoskeletal system, the hormones, the psyche, and also the figure. And what we do in the 24 hours of our day, our habits, our lifestyle, that strongly influences this metabolism. Today we eat things we are not made for at times when the body is busy with other things. For example, the body is busy working all the food's toxins out of the body. So it has a lot to do. The filtering machines of our body, liver and kidneys, are overloaded and working at full speed. Like a car that drives constantly high speed. One day they are done and they just cannot anymore. This leads to change of the microbiologically in the body. Food's nutrients cannot be absorbed properly. If we think we only need to swallow a few supplements, they do not really reach the system. We put them in the mouth, but they are not properly absorbed in the body, so it does not help. This is such a vicious cycle that arises. We gain weight without eating a lot, we have a feeling of fullness, we have digestive problems, the skin becomes flabby, many things changes, we do not sweat a lot when we do sports. All these are signs that our metabolism is not working so well. And then we wonder why we have a problem after 40 years. If you pour diesel into a petrol engine, it will strike immediately. The body struggles for quite a long time and lasts for quite a long time, tries to get along with it. But at some point the systems are just tired and just cannot anymore. And that leads to a collapse of our metabolism, that the liver can not longer do its job properly. It says, tiredness is the pain of the liver. So this exhaustion you feel has to do with the exhaustion of your organs. According to WHO, 20 million people die each year from the effect of improper diet. Here we talk in the first place about hydrogenated fat and the wrong carbohydrates out of sugar and processed food. For this we are not made for, and one day our body cannot cope with it any longer, and out of these civilization diseases develop. Let's take a closer look at the effects of stress on the body. So stress is something completely natural. In a situation that stresses us, all other body functions are reduced. And we are in a combat mode to master this situation. It sounds fantastic at the first, but it is only made for a short time. But if we have that a lot, if we look at our life and are constantly stressed, we get up and there's a first argument. On the way to work, we are stuck in traffic, get upset, check mails, or make the first phone calls. We are constantly stressed, constantly under pressure, and stress adds up. It gets more and more, and our natural stress regulation, that is the hormones that are supposed to bring this stress level down again, has to be constantly released. It's cortisol. And of course, at some points, it's empty. At some points, the organs cannot any longer. They cannot longer produce anything. Permanent stress, they just collapsed. Then we cannot longer compensate for this stress. And then it overwhelms us, that's for sure. And this means we are so ready, tired and flabby, this constant driving out of skin, and that we constantly would like to jump at everybody for every little thing, that we cannot bear that there is stress around us too. All of this means that our level of what we can endure is permanently exceeded. In the last few years, we have really hit our wonderful self-regulating body system against the wall. You have to say that so dramatically. That is in the end, and it can no longer work. I hope I could explain to you in this short form what happens if we are not sensitive to the effects of stress and the aging process. If we are not careful with our body, which we would like to keep alive and well for a few decades. But now I would definitely like to give you these 7 keys, these 7 areas that should you definitely work on so that you can find your way back to this inner balance. So let's look at these 7 keys. Key 1, stress management. Key 2, sleep, relaxation. Key 3, movement. Key 4, nutrition. Key 5, hormones, vital substances and remedies. Key 6, time management. Key 7, management of thoughts. If you work on these 7 areas, you muck them out, then the inner balance will be restored and you get your winning charisma back. The exhaustion disappears and you have real fun and joy in life again. So it is up to you how your quality of life will be in future. According to WHO, everyone in the Western world spends on average the last 10 years in illness. We live longer today, but what does that use it to us? Maybe you have already heard in the circle of friends or acquaintances of someone who's died suddenly with 50 or 55 and nobody knows why. Often the alarm signs were not seen because they arose from a supposedly normal lifestyle, and then all of a sudden the body cannot and give up. A key experience for me was when my demented father-in-law had to go to the nursing home because he could not longer be looked after at home. One thing I knew for sure: I never want this for me. In no case, never ever. That was enough to drive me to question my own lifestyle and make changes. To put it simple, one can say, bring stress down and raise metabolism, and then give the body time to function unhindered again as before. But if it were that easy, not so many people of the Western world would be affected by this fatigue syndrome. Changes are mostly uncomfortable, also scare us, are hard to do. We usually have no power at all during the state of exhaustion. And don't forget, the body demands its toxics and its comfort. I'm not just talking about cigarettes. I'm also talking about the sugar that the bacteria in our intestines want. They carve for sugar and then let us grab for something that is not good for us. How do we manage to get ourselves out of this exhaustion? How do we get this winning charisma back for ourselves and find our inner balance again? As a basis for this, you need your own individual, customized anti-exhaustion program. It is actually important what we were using our energy for, where we fill up new energy. What thoughts do we feed our brain with? These are the prerequisites to give the body the chance to get back into balance. It is up to you to decide yourself. No, I'm not in the mood right now. I'm just going to continue as before. Then you can also take a car and drive against the wall, but it's your decision. Or you open yourself and relax for a few changes in your lifestyle, what you do in the 24 hours of your day. If you have made these changes, you will see that within a few weeks you can recharge your batteries, improve your charisma, regain your health and vitality, and also the ability to feel joy again. The good thing is that everyone can make these changes on his own. So once you have searched through these 7 areas in your life and have regained this balance, you will find that these filter organs, kidneys and liver, can do their job again. The liver also burns the fat when it is no longer tired, and the pounds just tumble. This is why the weight loss is a byproduct of the self-care program. From all this experience, I have put together a self-care concept called Feelgood Management. I've been coaching this Feelgood Management to my private customers for some years now. I have been an image designer for 25 years and work with executives on their appearance, behavior and their charisma. It is about targeted communication of their own personality. And when the charisma is no longer there because the inner balance has been lost and the body got out of hand, then I have a problem. Then I can't get the radiance anymore. That's why the self-care program Feelgood Management is an essential part of my advice. My private customers all benefit from it because they gradually change things in their coachings. And the good thing is that changing things only happens with fun and without stress. And tailor-made because it is a little bit different for everyone so that you can implement the changes. You can do it yourself to search and find out in these 7 areas what's right, what's wrong, what works and what does not work. Or you make it easy. Changes in themselves are not pleasant. We resist. We may not have the right solutions ready. But I offer you, I'll make it easy for you. I'll take you by the hand. That's why I developed the 12-part online coaching that takes you step by step out of your exhaustion and brings you back the energy and joy, the vitality, the charisma, and your inner balance. The online self-care program has 12 units in which you not only get knowledge, but I work directly with you on your own topics. Make progress, and in this way you find your inner balance and get your personal winning charisma back. With my experience, I know where most of the problems are and can give you advice and how best to set up your little new routines that suits you and which you like. If you have any questions, just send me an email, because in addition to the 12 self-care units, there is a free weekly live coaching event where I answer your questions. In the online self-care program, you can get each unit for 50 euros. That is a total of 12 units that cost 600 euros. And there are in addition free weekly live appointments. We are slowly approaching changes and building new routines. Routines that you enjoy because they suit you and because they do you good. And if you keep these changes, the law of minimal constancy works. Because even with these small steps, you get closer to your goal. A success check is quite simple because the look in the mirror shows the success and you feel it. You feel more energy, you feel in balance, maybe you sleep better, and that is your motivation. Motivation comes from gaining pleasure and avoiding pain. And if you realize that the Feelgood Management self-care program is good for you, you will stick to it. I promise. So use my experience to get rid of your state of exhaustion once and for all. You cannot help that you came in this state. It is the common exhaustion syndrome of the modern lifestyle. And if you go on like this, nothing will change. There will be changes, and you can search for yourself what's right, what are the right steps for you. Or you trust me, and we go through these 12 units together, and you will see step by step you get closer to your inner balance again. Make it easy for yourself and book the self-care program, and in 12 weeks you can say, yesterday I was exhausted. From today on I'm strong again. I'm very happy if you put your trust in me, and I can take you by the hand that you benefit from my experience and my critical questions. Take advantage of the great offer. I hope I could encourage you to do something for you, because you know that a healthy person has 1,000 wishes. A sick person only has one. So book the self-care program, and we'll see each other again in the first coaching appointment, because my self-care program Feelgood Management is your customized anti-exhaustion program. See you soon.